sit down. What's your name?
Everybody got one? You want one, sir?
You sit on there.
Beautiful. Everybody else got one?
Hey, how you doing, man?
There's some more floating around. Good? Or you need to Sorry, sir. Can you pass that way? Everybody else got one? Sorry. Monty was giving you everything. He was trying to let y'all walk out here today in wholesale. That's what's up. So I'm gonna try to go through this as quick as possible. That way I don't, hold y'all up on the Saturday. So again, like I said, I'm Aziz Ross. I went to the whole, pay all that money for a real estate school. I don't know if I'm familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, but he's got a school. I went to his school. So I paid $10,000 plus actually to learn what we're teaching y'all here today. So, just keep that in mind. Again, we do this every month and our classes are free. Like he was saying, if you want personal touch, he wants to walk you through each step, provide a contractor, all that kind of stuff with you. We can do that. That's a little fee that we attach to that. But you really can learn everything right here. Today I'm gonna go through the phase of acquiring a property all the way to the construction part of it, right? And then as the months follow, I'm gonna go through each phase of that. So again, if you just keep coming out, you can learn everything you need to learn for free. But you gotta bring yourself out here on Saturday. And again, we do that every third or fourth Saturday of the month. All right, so first we're gonna talk about the first step of any deal, finding a property. Damani kind of talked about that. There's several ways you can find a property. You can use a wholesaler, you can do skip tracing, you can do mailers, postcards, which you gotta actually have a budget for that because that costs you money. You mail them out using the foreclosure list, or if you're skip tracing, you drive around looking for abandoned properties. And there are several ways to do that. Again, we're gonna go through each phase. I'm just gonna go generally the steps today. All right, and then we have what's called evaluating a property. All right, in the Houston market, you get a lot of people, I wanna flip a big mansion or house that's $400,000 or $500,000. That ain't the market. It's gonna take you forever to sell it, first of all, which is gonna require a lot of holding costs, which is gonna eat into your profit. The market here in Houston is everything is 200 and under. And usually you can get rid of that within 60 days, right? So that's a key right there. You want to stay in below that 200. ARV is after repair value. So you purchase it at a certain price, you fix it up, now it's worth this price. And that price after it's repaired and you're ready to list it should be under 200. You can get rid of it really fast. And then again, your holding costs aren't that much. And, a lot of benefits to that. Again, we'll go through each one of those a little later as the months go by. So once you see a property, like I said, you're working with a wholesaler or you see it yourself, you may have a cousin that has a property. Sometimes you can go with a real estate agent, but usually real estate agents they are selling retail. As an investor, you don't want to buy retail, right? You want to buy everything as wholesale, right? Because once it's retail, it's listed, they're already taking the profit out of it, then you got to pay the real estate agent. So, the profit's kind of gone when you're doing like that. So once you identify a property, right? And then you want to figure out how you're going to pay for it. So you can use hard money. Some people have cash. You can get a team of investors that go on with you. So you want to figure that out because that's going to change your costs. If you're dealing with a lender or a hard money person, it's going to be fees attached to that. So you want to learn that. You want to know that end of it before you actually make an offer on the deal, right? So you got that. You look for the property. You find the property. You figure out how you're going to fund it. You can actually do that before if you already know, all right, I'm going to use hard money. I'm going to look for all my properties I want to use hard money, right? And on this sheet right here is actually a hard money. Some of you guys know Jet. They're one of the bigger companies in the area. I use them. I use several others, but, Jet's good. They charge you a lot. So what you want to do is you want to get to a point where you can pay cash or you got a group of investors. They're going to go on with you. You can pay cash because, hard money is they're all about making their own money, right? You go to the Jet events and all that kind of stuff. We're giving you free food and all that. That's for a reason, right? If you look at this deal right here, how much they're making off the cut, just for basically they deal with a bank and they transfer the money over to you. You see how much they're making off the cut. So all that free food you get at Jet events, and we're out to help you out. And in some cases, it's true maybe, but in most cases they're out to make money. So just know that, keep that in mind. That again, everybody's out to make money. I don't fault them for that. But as you see here, on this sheet right here, it's like 13%, 13.9, and that's interest only. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. And then you got, like I said, you got to pay origination costs and all that. So yeah, like I said, once you identify a property, again, you identify the property, you find out how you're gonna fund it, then you go out to the property. You wanna do all that before you go to the property. Don't waste your time, because this is about a numbers game, right? You wanna see as many properties and evaluate as many properties as possible before you actually go out to them. Because now you gotta drive out to them, you gotta arrange a time for either the wholesaler or the person to be there, you gotta look through the property. That takes time. If the money's not there, why waste your time, right? So you wanna have all that stuff in place before you actually go into the property, right? Okay, so all that makes sense, everything works out. You wanna be right around 70% plus or minus, which is total, rehab cost, purchase price. So you leave that 30% in there for profit, right? My wholesalers, you guys need to know that too, because sometimes we get a lot of wholesalers now, they want to sell you the property 85%. How can I make money on 85%? That's 15% left for me. If something happens, the pipe busts, one of my guys, makes a mistake, all my profit is gone. So you want to keep in mind, as a wholesaler, what you need to charge. I know everybody wants to make money, but again, like Damani was saying, it's about your name. If you're fair and then your investor makes money, you make money, you're going to have an investor for life. They're always going to come to you, and that's the hardest part when you're doing wholesaling, is to get investors that you repeat business all the time. If you screw them over one time, you're done, right? And he's going to tell other people, and then, your business is over, right? So you want to be fair. And, there always should be a little negotiation in there. You might have a set price as a wholesaler. When an investor comes, hey, this is what it's coming back as, can we do this? And you go negotiate, and so both of you guys can make money. So it makes it a fair deal. Again, I talk about wholesalers. I use a lot of wholesaling, Damani mostly, some other guys that I use as well.
What?
Right. So again, once you work that out, okay. So now you're out to the property, right? You're walking out to the property. And as you do it, like I said, that's what the benefit is, walking with one of us, a person that's done it before. As you do it, and you're going to see it right here. This is a budget sheet right here. It's called a master budget sheet. So it's basically interior paint. Some of it's cut off. I apologize about that. Flooring. So it breaks down the cost of each phase of a flip. This one happens to be $34,000, a little bit under $35,000 for the whole project, right? And as you walk through the property and you see them over and over again, you're going to be able to identify, all right, I see the floor, in your head. You want round numbers. You want round up. That way, if you're off a little bit, you're good. So you see the floor, okay, I know it costs $3,000. All right, I know the roof costs $5,000. And as you're going through the property, you have a little sheet like this, and you're writing down the number. You're writing down the numbers. And also you're taking pictures. Because when you go back to the sheet, you'll say, now why did I say that it costs $5,000 to do this floor when I know it should only be $3,000? But then you see there's a hole in the floor that you got to repair. That's why the pictures make sense. Whenever you see a damage to the property, the roof is leaking, siding is falling off, major damage, you want to take a picture of that. That's because your cost is going to be a little more than just a traditional, repair the carpet or paint the walls, right? So you keep that in mind. Again, you walk through each one. Now, once you identify all your rehab costs, right? Now you know the lender that you're using, how much that's going to cost. And again, that was on this sheet. All the costs associated with a hard money lender, right? It'll change, like I said, if you're using cash or if you're using a traditional lender, those numbers will change. But most of us are going to be using hard money just for the fact that, if you don't have a lot of cash coming out of pocket. As you see here, just one note I want to make. Estimated ARV, this is called a pre-approval before the appraisal was done. He had it evaluated at 160, right? So I was purchasing it at 111. He had it evaluated at 160. Again, that's for my wholesalers and my flippers. You have to realize when you're dealing with hard money, they always gonna lowball you. Always gonna low. Now, if you go back to here, after the appraisal, it says the property was valued at 189, right here. You see that ARV? That was after I paid for the appraisal, right? Once you get the appraisal, they're gonna go off that number, right? And just as a side note, I ended up selling this property for 210, right? So the hard money people, their numbers are gonna be always on the low side. So when you gauge your numbers, when you pull your comps, obviously you wanna get a realtor. We have realtors in this room. I work with a few closely. You want to get the comps, right? Once you get the comps, you're going to know your own numbers, but you always want to go, there's going to be a low side, a median side, and a high side. Always go to that low median side when you're working your numbers. If you sell it for more, that's a plus. Now, if you're gauging your numbers on the high side and you don't get that high side price, if the market is not bearing that when you turn around and sell it, then you lost money, right? That's how a lot of investors get in trouble. Oh, I seen this house 2 doors down, sold for 200. I'm gonna do my numbers. I can sell it for 200. If the average in the neighborhood is 170, you need to base it on that 170, not the 200. If you make an extra 20, 30, good. Like I said, I made an extra, 10, 15 on this one because I sold for 210. But that's the key. That's how you lose money in this deal. And the other key is when we get to the construction side, I'm gonna show you why you lose money as well. Because people get emotionally attached. This is a numbers game. It's about making money, right? Again, you want, like the mindset, you want to treat people right, but at the same time, it's a business, right? You can't treat people right at the cost of your own expense, right? If the money goes in a project and says, or a wholesale deal, and says, all right, I can give you 20,000, and there's only 25 in the property, and he's got to transfer that over to an investor, so they have to make money too. Then what he's going to end up doing is he's losing money or breaking even. So he took all this time to break even. If it's a friend or family or somebody that you just, you have emotionally attached to, sometimes you help them out that way. But traditionally, you want to make money, they want to make money. It should be a fair trade, right? That's business, that's life, right? You don't want to give, and then people just take. That's not a good friendship or a business relationship. You keep that in mind as well when you're dealing with, homeowners, when you're reselling the property, or when you're dealing with wholesalers. All right, so we got all that. You got your numbers ready. You got all your budget repairs in order. Now you're ready to make an offer, right? So you make the offer. You always want to come in, again, once you figure out your 70%. If you come in at that 70%, you want to stick to that number as much as possible, give or take, right? Give or take. But if you go into the property and say, oh, I think I'll pay 80%. Again, you're gonna get yourself into trouble. Once you get your numbers, you make the offer. If it doesn't work, you go to the next one, right? Don't fall in love with the property. Oh, I can make so much money off this property. I'm gonna keep working until I can get it. The next thing you know, you're purchasing it at 80%, and it's only 20% profit. Something happens, the market goes down while you're rehabbing it, then you lost money, right? So stick to your numbers. That's why you do. This is the most important part. Your rehab costs, your lender's cost, and your purchase price. You figure that out, stay in that 70%. Again, 70% of the ARV. I don't know if I explained that to you. ARV, after repair value. So if it's worth 100, 70%, you want to be in right at 70 for total, everything included, rehab costs, purchase costs, and then closing costs as well. All right. So once the offer is accepted, you're now at that point you're signing the contract. Your offer is accepted. You're giving down earnest money. Usually, depending on how you get the property, I usually like to walk the contract down to the title company if it's not already there. And that way you can also take the option money. Option money basically is you're giving them yourself out. A lot of wholesalers don't allow the option, but you want to get that, you want to push that as much as possible. Basically what that is you pay $150 for 7 to 10 days. And basically, legally, when you have that option, in 7 to 10 days, if you go in there, the lender backtracks, or you go in there again and look at the property and you see other things are wrong that you missed the first time, you can back out of the property. Right, you lose $150, that's what you're paying for, but you can back out, so it's protecting yourself, right? You want to push for that as much as possible. Again, a lot of the wholesalers, they don't like that, and they're going to say, oh, well, you gave your earnest money, you can back out, but you lost the earnest money, right? But that's why it's good to deal with the money, or, another wholesaler that you have a close relationship.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, because you can, the money, hey, man, this happened, I don't think it's going to work, she said, all right, well, you gave your earnest money, we can just tie it to another property or something like that, right? But a lot of wholesalers, again, you meet them at the jet, they're going to be like, you lost your earnest money, too bad, and they go on to the next person. They can care less of what happened, they don't care. And most times it's 5,000. That's what they want you 5,000, right? Whenever I see a earnest money fee for 5,000, I back up from a wholesaler. Because I already know, you try and get over, right? Yeah. So I'm usually around, the money tell you about 2,500, sometimes 1,500. It's fair. If the property is good and we can make money off of it, why do you need $5,000 earnest money? Right? You don't, because you're going to make your money anyway, right? So you want to hold my money in case I have to back out. Now you